Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. On this occasion, we're once again going to discuss several leaks that I've managed to find and that I think are quite interesting to talk about. As usual, this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. Alright, now let's go straight into the main topic of today's video. Today, the Honkai starrail version 4.2 Beta v4 has finally been officially released. And if you think that Beta v4 would only contain rewording, you would be wrong. Because in this Beta v4, it turns out there are several changes that happen to the kits of some characters. And in this video, we will first focus on 3 characters who received the most significant changes, namely Evanescia, Silverwolf 999, and EMC. What changes did they experience in this v4? Will these changes make them better, or the opposite? Alright, for the first discussion, let's start with Evanescia. In Beta v4, Evanescia received quite a lot of changes, starting from talent, elation skill, to Idolan. Let's start with the first change. The first change is Evanescia's talent. The mechanic remains exactly the same, only the multiplier values have changed. So now, the elation ratio that Evanescia gets from her crit damage is reduced, from previously 25% crit damage to only 20% crit damage. In addition, the multiplier value of her ultimate's random attack has increased, from previously 25% to now 28%. So it can be said that this talent received an adjustment. The next change is Evanescia's elation skill. Now, the damage of this elation skill has been increased, from previously dealing only 100% to now 110%. Now, we move on to Evanescia's Idolan. Out of the 6 Idolans, only 2 Idolans received changes. Idolan 1 received a change in effect. Previously, this Idolan would provide an increase of 36% crit damage. Now the effect has been changed to increases all type respen by 20%. The other effects remain the same and unchanged. Idolan 2 also received a change in effect. Previously, this Idolan would provide an increase of 20% all type respen. Now the effect has been changed to increase crit damage by 36%. In addition, certified banger generation from allies losing certified banger increased from 50% to 100%. So, it can be said that the effects of Idolan 1 and Idolan 2 were simply swapped. And this is quite good because now we can get all type respen at Evanescia's Idolan 1. In addition to changes in Evanescia's kit, her signature light cone also received a change. The effect of the light cone itself remains exactly the same as before, but now effects of the same type cannot be stacked. So essentially, now we cannot use 2 of this light cone in the same team because the effects cannot be stacked. Next, we move on to the changes for Silverwolf 999. In this Beta v4, Silverwolf 999 received the most changes, starting from ultimate, talent, to Idolan. So, let's begin the discussion of Silverwolf 999. The first change is Silverwolf 999's enhanced basic attack. The effect remains exactly the same, but the multiplier value has changed. Now, Silverwolf 999 deals imaginary damage equal to 240% compared to previously only 220%. In addition, the final hit of this enhanced basic attack also increased, from previously dealing 90% damage to now 100%. Next is Silverwolf 999's ultimate. Actually, the effect of this ultimate remains exactly the same and did not receive any changes at all. However, there is one small change, which is the break value. Previously, Silverwolf 999's ultimate would give 10 break points, but now it gives no break at all. Next is Silverwolf 999's talent. The increase effect for crit rate and crit damage from each MMR point is now increased, from previously 0.3% crit rate and 0.6% crit damage, now increased to 0.4% crit rate and 0.8% crit damage. The other effects remain the same and unchanged. Then we move to the elation skill. The effect remains exactly the same with no changes, but this skill received one similar change to the ultimate, which is in the break value. Previously, each instance gave 5 break, and now the value has been increased to 10 break. In addition, there is a change to Silverwolf 999's top loot box mechanic. For the funky munch bean effect that gains punchline, now the trigger rate is changed from previously being based on punchline value, to now being based on hidden MMR. Next are the trace changes. Trace 1. Previously the effect increases this unit's elation by 30% when speed is 150 or higher. Now, the value is increased to increases this unit's elation by 50%, although the speed requirement is also increased to 160 or higher. So to maximize it, you need 260 speed to get a total of 250% elation. Trace 2. Now the skill description is clarified to avoid confusion. If the number of punchlines taken into account when using an elation skill is 20 or more, gain an additional 20 hidden MMR points. If 40 or more, gain 20 points on top of that. Then, we move on to Silverwolf 999's Idolan changes. Out of the 6 Idolans, 3 Idolans received changes. Idolan 1 received a change. Now, the bonus 20% damage taken by enemies is active across the entire zone, whereas previously this effect only applied to Silverwolf 999's enhanced basic attack. Idolan 4. Now the bonus damage Honkai damage demo uses a multiplier of punchline 5 times, instead of a flat 999 value. Idolan 6. Now the bonus damage Mary makes is increased to 50% from previously only 40%. In addition, now the effect applies to all attacks during enhanced basic attack mode, not only top loot box. Enemies are still affected by absolute weakness, which reduces base rest to 0. And for the last change is elation MC. Unlike Evanescia and Silverwolf 999 who received quite a lot of changes, the changes to EMC are very minimal, which is only one change. And that one change is in Idolan 6. The effect of EMC's Idolan 6 is now changed and replaced. Previously, Ultimate additionally increases the speed of one designated ally by 12%, lasting for 3 turns. Now the effect is changed to, when using elation skill, increases this unit's crit damage by 100% for 3 turns. Alright, so those are all the changes that happened in Beta 4.2 v4. By the way, the 4 characters who received Nova Flare did not receive any changes at all in Beta v4. So only those 3 actually received changes. Overall, the changes in Beta v4 are more inclined towards adjustments and balancing. Evanescia received fairly clear adjustments. Some of the power from crit damage scaling was reduced, but compensated with increased damage multipliers and buffs in her skill. The Idolan changes also shift the focus between crit damage and residential PEN, making the cost for Evanescia even cheaper. Meanwhile, the restriction on her signature light cone makes team strategies more controlled and prevents abuse through stacking. Silverwolf 999, on the other hand, received the most significant changes. Many aspects of her kit were improved, from attack multipliers, crit scaling from MMR, to increased break in her skill, although there is a slight nerf in her ultimate, removal of break. Additionally, her Idolans are now more impactful and universal, which clearly increases the overall value of this character. Meanwhile, Elation MC only received a small change, but it is quite unfortunate in Idolan 6, because the effect is now more oriented toward increasing personal damage rather than buffing allies. That concludes our discussion regarding the latest developments in the Honkai starrail ecosystem that we can share on this occasion. We greatly appreciate your attention and the time you have taken to watch this discussion until the end. We are also very interested in knowing your opinions and reactions to the information we discussed today. What do you think about the changes in this V4 beta? Do you find the changes satisfactory? Or do you feel the opposite? Please share your opinions, analysis, and personal views in the comment section below. Your discussion will certainly make this topic even more interesting and informative. Don't forget to also share this video with your fellow Honkai Star Rail players who might also be interested in the latest developments of the game. Your support through likes and subscriptions means a lot for the growth of this channel so that it can continue to deliver informative content. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next discussion.